And welcome back to another Maintenance Monday. It's Maintenance Mike, and today I wanted to go over some wood fillers, some caulking, a little bit of touch-ups around the house. Here in our office, we've had some issues where we had some cracking woodwork and some damaged woodwork. So I kind of wanted to go over how I would repair some of these items, okay? So we've talked about caulking before. We're gonna use this today. I have some Durham's water putty here, and it's basically a putty that you have a dry compound and you're gonna mix it with water till you get the right consistency to apply it. It takes about an hour to dry, give or take. It sands a little bit harder. It's great to have around the house. You can use it at any time, okay? Got another one here where we have plastic wood filler, okay? It's a DAP product. It works really great. It dries almost instantly, so you can sand this really quick, okay? The advantage of this, I can sand it really quick. The disadvantage of this over like a wood putty is this can dry out in the can over a year's time, and then you have to replace it. This stuff here is gonna last almost forever, okay? Then we got some spackling, okay? You're really not gonna use a spackling on a wood repair. It's more of a drywall repair, and probably anything bigger than your pinky finger, you're probably gonna wanna use a drywall compound. Right over here, I got a little spot in our window trim where during the wintertime you're going to get a lot of this probably where it just is drying out, and as it dries out it shrinks a little bit and then you get a little bit of a gap, okay? If it's a small gap like this, I'm choosing to use a little bit of latex caulking here. I'm using a white, and I'm just going to squeeze in a little bit of latex caulking in there. I'm going to take my finger, kind of wipe off any excess like that. And that might be all you really have to do in this particular fix, okay? We're gonna go over a couple other little areas where I'm also gonna use some other products. Okay, so here we are at the doorway to my new office, and guess what? Had some movers come through and did a little damage to my casing here. So in this particular case, I'm just gonna take a little bit of sandpaper. I'm just gonna make sure all the high spots are knocked off before I go ahead and put a little bit of filler in there, okay? So I just knocked off the high spots. That's all I really did here. And I'm gonna go back to that DAP wood filler, okay? Again, this stuff dries really quick, so it's really nice to work with. Again, if you have it laying around the house for a long period of time, by the time you go to use it again, it might be dried out. So that's where sometimes using that Durham's water putty comes in handy to have it laying around the house too. But this product dries really fast. It's really nice to sand. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of go like that. On this particular repair, I chose not to mask off any of my repairs. And on a edge like this, sometimes you almost just gotta take your finger and just kind of form it around a little bit, give it that form that it needs to be, okay? And with this stuff too, sometimes you might have a little bit of a low spot. This stuff's gonna dry really fast. So within a couple minutes, I can sand it and I can reapply a little bit if I need to reapply a little bit as well, okay? So yeah, we're just gonna let this dry for a few minutes. I'm gonna sand it and we're gonna finish this repair out. Okay, so over here, have another little repair. It's a little bit bigger. I got even a bigger one over here I'm gonna go over in just a minute. So instead of just caulking in an area here like I did on the last one, I'm gonna use some of the wood filler. I'm gonna start with a little bit of tape. I'm gonna mask off this area because I really don't wanna make this area any bigger than, as far as repair, than I really want it to be. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of masking tape there. And I'm gonna fill this area with that plastic wood filler. Again, that's that DAP product that I talked about before. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of this, and it doesn't take much. And I'm just gonna get it inside that crack through there, okay? Good. Scrape off any of that excess. Can wipe it in with my finger and kind of push it in a little bit further, whatever it takes to kind of fill that void with that crack. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let this dry a minute, and then I'm gonna lightly sand it, then I can come back and paint it. Okay, I have another area here that's kind of cracked like this. So here is where I'm going to just use that caulking again and just kind of fill in this area. If you have a little area that it's kind of sticking out a little bit, you know, this is a latex caulking, and caulking, when it dries, a latex caulking that is, it shrinks. It also will crack, and it'll also get a little hard. Okay, a silicone, which we've talked about in some other videos, is more pliable. Okay, it's got elasticity. It's going to kind of stretch a little bit as materials move, okay? Problem is with the silicone, again, we talked about this before, is you can't paint it, okay? That's why I'm gonna apply a latex caulking in this area, okay? So again, you wanna make sure you probably have a rag handy, and we're just gonna apply a little bit of caulking through here. Take your finger, we're gonna just go across that area. Sometimes a wet cloth across there works pretty good, but keep your finger wet or just a one-time stroke across there and you should be fine, okay? So now this is either ready to paint now, or I could just leave it the way it is. This here, that DAP product that we talked about before, it's already dry, okay? So I can take a little bit of sandpaper, and I wouldn't use anything more than a 120. That's all you really need, about a 120 sandpaper. You can kind of touch up that with some sandpaper. Now I can come, take the tape off. And this is actually ready to paint right now, okay? So again, I could probably leave a little tape there and try to paint. It's gonna leave a little bit of a line. So what I might take is a brush, and guess what? I don't have the brush with me, but what I would do is probably take the brush and I'd kind of stencil, kind of dab on the paint in that area, and that would work out pretty good. A foam roller works really good. If you're to have to do the whole window trim, you might want to use like a foam roller or a really, really small nap type of roller all the way around to do your touch-ups, okay? So hopefully this has helped out. You know, we all have a little bit extra time now. The winter time, things are drying out. You're getting a lot of cracking. So hopefully these repairs will help you out, and I'll see you again next Monday for another Maintenance Monday.